In the spotlight tonight is Doriana Shirola from Oxford, a philologist, and her specialist subject is Croatian geography. Nick Scopes from Edinburgh, a property developer whose subject is the Flashman novels by G.M. Fraser. David Parker from the Wirral, who's a librarian and whose subject is the life and films of Powell and Pressburger. And Brendan Moriarty from Altrincham, an eye surgeon, and his subject, Winston Churchill. Welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. Joining me tonight, 4 brave contenders and 1 infamous black chair. They will each have 2 minutes in the chair, first on their specialist subject and then on general knowledge. And tonight's winner will go through to the next round and the chance of becoming the nation's mastermind. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Doriana Shirola.
Your occupation?
Philologist.
And your chosen subject?
Croatian geography.
Croatian geography in 2 minutes starting now. On which island is Tito's Cave, the base from which he coordinated partisan operations against the Germans from 1944?
Vis.
Correct. What is the name of the river delta south of the port of Ploču, where much of Croatia's citrus fruits are produced?
Neretva.
Yes. Which national park is situated at the northwestern end of the karst plateau of Gorski Kotar?
Risnjak.
Yes. What is the name of the island that's known for its white stone, a mixture of marble and limestone, which has been used in the building of the White House in Washington and the Reichstag in Germany?
Brač.
Correct. Which national park on the southern slopes of the Velebit Massif contains the Aničuk Peak and Manita Pech, a stalactite-packed cave?
Paklenica.
Correct. What is the name of the resort on the south coast of the island of Brač that is famed for its unusual beach, the Zjatni Rat, which extends like a tongue for about 400 metres into the sea?
Bol.
Correct. Which 400-metre high hill overlooks the city of Dubrovnik?
Srđ.
Correct. Croatia's largest population of which carrion-eating birds live on the island of Cres?
The griffin.
The griffon vulture, yes. What is the name of the cave on the southwest slopes of Mount Medvednicu where traces of prehistoric man have been found?
Veternica.
Correct. Which of the 16 Plitvice lakes is the highest in altitude? It is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Tene.
Which tourist resort's reputation as a retreat for the elite began in 1844 when Rijeka businessman Ignio Scarpa built a villa there where he entertained many of Europe's aristocracy?
Opatija.
Yes. What is the name of the longest river in Istria which empties into the sea near the tourist town of Novigrad?
Mirna.
Yes. On which island is the village of Lombarda noted for the cultivation and production of Grk wine?
Korčula.
Yes. What is the name of the Marshland Nature Reserve, one of Europe's largest wetlands, which lies at the confluence of the Drava and Danube rivers?
Kopački rit.
Correct. Which cave system in the Velebit Mountains was discovered in 1992? I'll start it so I shall finish, and has a depth of nearly 1,400 metres, making it one of the deepest in the world.
Lukina jama.
Correct. 1 pass. The highest of the Plitvice lakes, or UNESCO World Heritage Site, is Pressburger. So, that 1 pass, Doriana Shirola, 14 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Nick Scopes.
Your occupation?
Property developer.
And your chosen subject?
The Flashman novels of George MacDonald Fraser.
The Flashman novels in 2 minutes. What is the name of Flashman's house in Leicestershire, which he named after one of his military encounters in Afghanistan?
Gandamak Lodge.
Correct. In Royal Flash, Flashman and de Gautet are forced to undergo which form of duelling, popular in Germany, where the aim is to wound your opponent on the face rather than kill him?
Schlager.
Correct. What is the name of Maharani Jindan's go-between and confidant who becomes Flashman's lover?
Mangler.
Yes. What is the nickname of Alexander Burns, the chief political officer in Afghanistan in 1841, who's killed along with his brother by the mob?
Secunda.
Yes. In Flashman on the March, there's a reference to a Palmer's Vesuvian. What type of object is that?
A match.
Yes. What is the full name and title of the nephew of Prince Albert, who's killed at the Battle of Alma while Flashman's supposed to be looking after him?
Prince William of Celle.
Yes. According to Flashman, what did President Grant do when he discovered that he was the Flashman from Tom Brown's school days?
Pass.
In Flashman and the Great Game, who at his own request pins the insignia of the Victoria Cross onto Flashman's chest?
Sir Colin Campbell.
Correct. In the road to Charing Cross, how's the march of the French Foreign Legion? Tiens, voilà du boudin, apparently referred to during Flashman's conversation with the French president.
Pass.
The concubine Yi is wearing wings made from the feathers of which bird when she comes to look at the barbarian Flashman in his dungeon?
Peacock.
Yes, in the first of the novels, Flashman has a tug-of-war with the dwarf Mansour across a trench. What is the trench filled with?
Snakes.
Yes, in Flash for Freedom, what's the name on the bill of sale of the slave owner who sold Cassie to Fitzroy Howard?
Pass.
What is the name of the amber or volcanic plug where Emperor Theodore of Abyssinia is holed up in Flashman on the March?
Magdala.
Correct. What's the name of the Madagascar test for truthfulness that involves swallowing poisoned chicken skins and throwing them up again in the correct manner?
Tanguin.
Yes. Who was joint commander of the Khalsa during the First Sikh War, gives the treacherous order not to attack Goth's exhausted forces at the Battle of Ferozeshah?
Tej Singh.
Yes. What name does Mrs. Elizabeth Rosanna James give herself when she claims to be a famous Andalusian dancer?
Lola Montez.
Correct. Which Russian nobleman and spy attempts to kill Flashman while he's on a stag hunt at Balmoral with Prince Albert?
Ignatieff.
Yes. And that's it. You have 3 passes. Angel de Marmalade is in Flash for Freedom. That's the name on the bill of sale. Sausage Music is the March of the French Foreign Legion. And what did President Grant do when he discovered he was the Flashman? He looked baffled and he had another drink, as you would expect. 3 passes, Nick Scopes, 14 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
David Parker.
Your occupation?
Librarian.
And your chosen subject?
The lives and films of Powell and Pressburger.
Powell and Pressburger. In 2 minutes. What was the distinctive logo of the production company that Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger launched in the early 40s?
An archery target.
Yes. For which actress did Pressburger originally write The Red Shoes in 1937, the role eventually going to Moira Shearer?
Merle Oberon.
Yes. In The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, what does Clive Candy reply when Barbara says, "We must go, darling, we have the bishop for lunch"?
I hope he's tender.
Yes. What is the title of the first volume of Powell's autobiography, published in 1986?
A Life in Movies.
Correct. Which famous dancer and teacher has a cameo role playing herself in The Red Shoes?
Madame Rambert.
Yes. Pressburger studied engineering in Prague and at which other university before becoming a scriptwriter in Berlin?
Stuttgart.
Yes. Powell and Pressburger first teamed up when they were brought together by Alexander Korda to work on which 39 film?
Spy in Black.
Yes. In A Matter of Life and Death, starring David Niven as the pilot Peter Carter, what's the number of the French conductor played by Marius Goring?
71.
Correct. What did Michael Powell give us his recreation for his entry in Who's Who?
Leaning on Gates.
Yes. About which film for which he won an Oscar for Best Original Story did Pressburger say, "Goebbels considered himself an expert on propaganda, but I thought I'd show him a thing or two"?
49th Parallel.
Correct. Which well-known singer starred at the age of 12 as Cheryl in the film I Know Where I'm Going?
Petula Clark.
Correct. On whose novel is the film Black Narcissus based, which tells of a group of nuns struggling against hardship to found a convent in the Himalayas?
Rumour Garden.
Correct. In the 1949 film The Small Back Room, what's the name of the anti-hero scientist played by David Farrar who's battling against disability, alcoholism and office politics?
Sammy Rice.
Correct. Which Oscar-winning film editor, whom Powell married at the age of 78, collaborated with him on his second volume of memoirs Million Dollar Movie?
Thelma Schoonmaker.
Correct. What was the name of Pressburger's home in Aspall, Suffolk, where he lived for over 15 years until his death in 1988 in a nearby nursing home?
Shoemaker's Cottage.
Correct. On which Alfred Hitchcock film of 1929 did Powell work uncredited?
Blackmail.
Yes. What is the title of the novel by Pressburger about a Spanish Civil War guerrilla on which the 1964 film Behold, a Pale Horse was based?
Killing a Mouse on Sunday.
Correct. Which popular fantasy, I've started so finished, did Powell and Pressburger create for the Children's Film Foundation in 1972?
The Boy Who Turned Yellow.
Correct, as was every other answer. No passes. 18 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Brendan Moriarty.
Your occupation?
I'm an eye surgeon.
And your chosen subject?
The life and career of Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill, in 2 minutes, starting now. Which event of World War II prompted Churchill to make his "We shall fight them on the beaches" speech in the House of Commons?
The invasion of France.
The evacuation of Dunkirk. For which constituency did Churchill serve as a Liberal Member of Parliament for 14 years from 1908 to 22?
Dundee.
Yes. Whom did Churchill appoint as Commander-in-Chief of the First Fleet at the start of World War I, replacing Sir George Callaghan?
Sir Jackie Fisher.
Sir John Jellicoe. For which newspaper did Churchill write as a war correspondent while serving as an officer in the South African Light Horse in 1900?
The Morning Post.
Yes. What was the name of the junior officer who was also his friend and colleague with whom Churchill went to Cuba in late 1895 in order to observe the Spanish forces fighting the nationalist rebels?
Bridges.
Reggie Barnes. According to Churchill's speech of March 1942, the fall of which city was the greatest disaster to British arms which our history records?
Pass.
Which Liberal candidate did Churchill defeat to gain his first seat in the House of Commons as the MP for Oldham in 1900?
Pass.
What was the name of Churchill's private secretary who served him in all his ministerial posts between 1905 and 1929?
Edward Marsh.
Yes. In which city did Churchill have a preliminary meeting with President Roosevelt in November 1943 before they both flew on to the Tehran conference?
Casablanca.
Cairo. Parliament finally passed which foreign policy bill in 1935, although Churchill had maintained a vehement campaign against it?
Pass.
In April 1948, which American magazine began serialising Churchill's war memoirs?
Time Life.
Yes. What was the surname of the two spinsters who ran the boarding school in Brighton that Churchill attended after leaving St George's, Ascot, and before he went to Harrow?
Pass.
In which city did Churchill make his first public political speech at a meeting of the Primrose League in July 1897?
Bristol.
Bath. Sirola, the novel that Churchill wrote in his early 20s, is a tale of revolution set in which fictional country?
Pass.
In 1943, on which ship did Churchill travel to Halifax in Canada in order to attend the Quebec Conference?
Duke of York.
Queen Mary. When Churchill became Prime Minister in May 1940, whom did he appoint as Lord President of the Council?
Pass.
Neville Chamberlain. 6 passes altogether. Lorania was the name of that novel. Thompson was the surname of the spinsters who ran the boarding house. It was the India Bill that Churchill was opposed to, and Walter Runciman was the candidate whom he defeated, and Singapore was the greatest disaster to British arms, etc. 6 passes, Brendan Moriarty, 4 points. So that's the end of the first round, the specialist subjects. Let's have a look at the scores. 4th place with 4 points, Brendan Moriarty. Joint 2nd place with 14 points, Doriana Shirola and Nick Scopes. In the lead with 18 points, David Parker. Round 2 now then, general knowledge, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes get taken into account. So let me ask Brendan Moriarty to join us again, if he would, please. And you took one of those subjects, Winston Churchill, about which there is a vast amount to know.
There is, particularly the stuff I didn't know. But,
well, but that's the way. That's the way.
I like a challenge.
That's
but,
the way it is.
That was a challenge too far, perhaps.
You're an eye surgeon, and you do a lot of work for Orbis. These people who travel around the world, putting people's eyes right.
Yes, when I qualified as an eye surgeon, I wanted to. One of the reasons I chose it was to work in the third world, and I was offered a post with Orbis to travel to various third world, well, so I should say, developing countries, to teach eye techniques and eye surgery techniques to the local doctors, such that they'd be able to carry those on after we left. I think it's a very useful approach to enhancing the quality of eye surgery in the developing world.
Just a quick thought, in the developed world, in rich countries like this, will we ever get to the point where we can cure every problem with eyes and none of us needn't ever go blind?
Well, I mean, the commonest cause of blindness in our community is macular degeneration, which is an ageing process, and the treatments are, in some cases, are good, but sadly in many they fail.
But a lot better than they were.
Yes.
Right, let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes. In the book of Genesis, which patriarch lived to be 969 years old?
Abraham.
Methuselah. The 1960 documentary film Aku Aku was the story of which Norwegian anthropologist's trip to Easter Island and his encounters with the natives?
Thor Heyerdahl.
Yes. What is the background colour of road signs indicating a tourist attraction or facility?
Pass.
Which row of houses laid out in an arc by John Wood the Younger between 1767 and 1775 is part of the Bath World Heritage Site?
Regency.
The Royal Crescent. Who on New Year's Eve 1999 resigned as President of Russia on health grounds?
Boris Yeltsin.
Yes. Which fictional school has the motto, never tickle a sleeping dragon?
Eton.
Hogwarts, who followed in her mother's footsteps when she won the individual European three-day event championship in September 2005?
Pass.
The Great St Bernard Pass links Switzerland with which other country?
Italy.
Yes. Which dish popular in Greece takes its name from the Arabic for moistened and usually consists of sliced aubergines, lamb and tomatoes, topped with a white sauce?
Moussaka.
Yes. The mines in the hills near the ancient Indian city of Golconda were famous for the production of what?
Pass.
What was the real first name of the guerrilla leader Che Guevara?
Pass.
Which British merchant who launched the first regular transatlantic steamship line was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia on 21st of November 1787?
Cunard.
Yes, in a modern symphony orchestra, the first violins appear immediately to the left of the conductor. Which instruments appear immediately to his right?
Cymbals.
Cellos. Which debonair detective has been played on television by Roger Moore, Ian Ogilvy and Simon Dutton?
The Saint.
Yes, what's the common name of the aquatic worm whose saliva contains the anticoagulant hirudin?
The Leech.
Yes, what term is used for a period during which a throne is vacant, for example, between the death of a monarch and the accession of the successor?
Pass.
Born Norma Eggstrom in Jamestown, North Dakota, who wrote and performed the music for the Disney film Lady and the Tramp?
Pass.
Which Danish architect designed the Sydney Opera House?
Lushens.
Jorn Utzon. You had 6 passes. Peggy Lee wrote the music for Lady and the Tramp. We have an interregnum during the vacancy of a throne and all that. Ernesto Che Guevara. Diamonds is what you get or got from Golconda. Zara Phillips followed in her mother's footsteps with her horse riding. And brown is the colour of road signs indicating a tourist attraction. 6 passes. Brenda Moriarty, 11 points. And now Doriana Shirola, please. And mercifully, not all the rest of the questions are going to be about your native land, Croatia. My apologies for my pronunciations.
It was good, all things considered.
Well, thank you. You lived in Croatia, presumably, during the worst of the war, did you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
And what was that like? Where were you?
Well, I actually spent most of it in Zagreb because that's where I was studying. So I was very lucky because the war didn't really affect me directly. I didn't lose anyone that I knew in the war, and I wasn't materially affected, but many people weren't that lucky. You could tell that there was a war on even though there was no material damage, and you know, if you were transported there from, say, London, it would look like any other city in Europe. But it profoundly affected everyone.
Yeah. Well, you scored 14 points with your knowledge of Croatian geography, so let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What's the equivalent of 999, the telephone number for the emergency services, in the United States and Canada?
991.
911. Which early form of Homo sapiens takes its name from the valley in Germany where remains were discovered in 1856?
Neanderthal.
Yes, according to tradition, on which island was St. Paul shipwrecked in 60 AD?
Malta.
Yes, who in the 1820s invented an early form of digital computer that he called the difference engine?
Charles Babbage.
Correct. Which international television festival was held in Montreux from 1961 to 2003 but has since transferred to Lucerne?
Golden Rose.
Yes, what is the common name of the plant family Solanaceae to which the potato belongs?
Tubers.
Nightshade, whose first collaboration, written while they were students at Oxford, was The Likes of Us, a musical version of the Dr. Barnardo's story?
Chalmers and Sullivan.
Tim Rice and Lloyd Webber. What sport is played by the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants?
American football.
Baseball. In Canto 13 of Don Juan, what did Byron describe as ending in July to recommence in August?
Hunting season.
The English winter, whose 50th birthday was celebrated with a party at Chequers in September 2004?
Tony Blair's.
Cherie Blair. Which actress played Sylvia Plath opposite Daniel Craig as Ted Hughes in the film Sylvia?
Don't know.
Which country was governed as an Anglo-Egyptian condominium from 1899 till it gained independence in 1956?
Sudan.
Yes. Which group won the 2005 Mercury Music Prize for the album I Am a Bird Now?
Don't know.
In Romeo and Juliet, what is the name of Capulet's niece with whom Romeo was enamoured before he met Juliet?
Don't know.
In the Spanish and former Portuguese monarchies, what title was given to the daughter of a reigning monarch, especially the eldest daughter who was not heir to the throne?
Infanta.
Yes, what is the principal protein ingredient of a Chinese dish described as fu yang?
Monosodium glutamate.
No, though there may be a lot of that in it. It's actually omelette, eggs. You had 3 passes. Rosalind in Romeo and Juliet, the name of Capulet's niece. Anthony and the Johnsons were the group who won that Mercury Music Prize. And Gwyneth Paltrow played Sylvia Plath. 3 passes. Doriana Shirola, 20 points. Now, Nick Scopes, please. And you are a property developer. Does that mean you are amazingly rich, or are you one of those who's just bought 2 or 3 little houses and rents them out?
6 so far.
6. Are there any bargains left?
A few. It's again trying to work out the areas that are still going to go up faster than everything else.
So that's what you do as a property developer, is it? You look for an area rather than for a particular property.
Yeah, you need to know which areas are either adjoining the wealthiest or the most prosperous, because that's where people will want to live. They can't afford the very best areas, so they go next door.
Right.
So the higher prices will gradually work their way out. But there's still money to be made.
Is there?
I hope so.
Quite. You have 14 points. The score to beat at the moment is 20 points. Let's see if you can do it with general knowledge. Which bank was brought down by the dealings of the rogue trader Nick Leeson?
Bearings.
Yes. Dianetics was the forerunner of which religious movement founded by L. Ron Hubbard in America in the 1950s?
Moonies.
Scientology. Which pop star had to be rescued by helicopter after his yacht Drum capsized during the 1985 Fastnet race?
Simon Le Bon.
Yes, which chemical element still used for fireworks was once also used for photographic flash ribbons and powder because it burns with a bright white light?
Phosphorus.
Magnesium. In Britain, what name is given to a collection of hives or colonies of bees kept for their honey?
Pass.
Which Commonwealth country annexed the Chatham Islands, the largest of which are Pitt Island and Chatham Island, in 1842?
Australia.
New Zealand. Whose 5th Symphony in D minor, composed in 1830, is known as the Reformation Symphony?
Beethoven.
Mendelssohn. Which architect's wife, Ruth, runs the River Cafe in West London with Rose Gray?
Pass.
In her journal of 1912, Lady Alice Hillingdon supposedly wrote on the sound of her husband approaching the bedroom, "I lie down on my bed, close my eyes, and do what?"
Think of England.
Indeed. Which portrait and landscape painter, a founder member of the Royal Academy, was born in Sudbury in Suffolk in 1727?
Constable.
Gainsborough. In which range of hills is the Cheddar Gorge situated?
Mendip.
Yes. The introduction to which book, subtitled From the Big Bang to Black Holes, begins, "We go about our daily lives understanding almost nothing of the world"?
Pass.
In which American national park are the 5 regions of Roosevelt, Canyon, Lake, Mammoth and Giza?
Yellowstone.
Yes. What's the title of the film based on the life of the heavyweight boxing champion James J. Braddock, starring Russell Crowe?
Pass.
Which fictional children's character had a wife called Mildew and a son called Mould?
Hadland.
Fungus the Bogeyman. Members of the Welsh Assembly have which 2 letters after their names?
SS.
AM. Which women's magazine, founded in America in 1886, was first published in Britain in March 1972?
Pass.
In November 2004, who unexpectedly resigned? I've finished the question. As the manager of Tottenham Hotspur after a little over 3 months in charge?
Pass.
Well, I can tell you it was Jacques Santini, and your other passes. Cosmopolitan was the magazine that was founded in 1886. Cinderella Man was the title of that film, based on James J. Braddock's life. A Brief History of Time was the book of which that was the first sentence. Richard Rogers is the husband of Ruth, who runs the River Cafe, and if you have a collection of hives or colonies, it is an apiary. 6 passes, you didn't quite make it, Nick Scopes. 19 points. And finally, David Parker, please. And you begin here with a bit of an advantage, really. 18 points already on Powell and Pressburger. You seem to know absolutely everything about them. How come?
I saw one of their films years ago, Black Narcissus, and I was just hooked from that. They're the most extraordinary films. The colour, the sort of old Technicolor, sort of knocks any modern film into a hat. The scripts are so witty, whimsical. frequently shocking, disturbing, tasteless sometimes, but really unique, unlike any other film. So.
They were very different characters.
Yes, they certainly were. They had very different backgrounds. I mean, Powell was like an Edwardian gentleman, and Emmerich was a Jew from Hungary who went from country to country fleeing persecution. And Emmerich was a very sort of quiet, sort of serene kind of man, whereas Powell was a big sort of barnstorming, rather bad-tempered character in some respects, but very charming apparently as well.
Right. You have 18 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Which British airport has the code STN?
Stansted?
Yes, the name of which Germanic tribe which sacked Rome in 455 AD has come to be applied to people who wantonly destroy property.
Vandals?
Yes, which liqueur was known as Tarragona in the early 20th century after the monks who distilled it settled there when they were expelled from France in 1903?
Pass.
In the television series The Prisoner, which type of bicycle was the symbol of the village?
A penny farthing?
Correct. Which Greek courtier, according to legend, sat at a banquet with a sword suspended over his head, held by a single hair?
Damocles.
Yes. From what material did the French designer René Lalique mainly make his Art Nouveau and Art Deco artefacts after 1900?
Silk.
Glass. What's the name of the passage that separates Cuba from the island of Hispaniola?
Pass.
Which lookout device was invented in 1807 by the Whitby whaler William Scoresby?
Binoculars.
The crow's nest. Economy class syndrome is a popular name for which condition sometimes suffered by passengers on long-haul flights?
Deep vein thrombosis.
Correct. Which of the English romantic poets born in 1795 wrote the famous Ode to Autumn?
Keats.
Yes. Which composer's In the Steppes of Central Asia was written to accompany a tableau vivant for Tsar Alexander II's Silver Jubilee?
Borodin.
Yes. Who was briefly appointed England's Test cricket captain between Mike Atherton's resignation and the appointment of Nasser Hussain?
Pass.
What name is given to the small cavity surrounding a hair root?
Follicle.
Yes. The mouflon is thought by some to be one of the ancestors of which farm animal?
Sheep.
Yes. Which British Prime Minister was created first Earl of Orford on his resignation in 1742?
Pitt the Younger.
Walpole. In which film did Richard Dreyfuss sculpt a model of Devil's Tower, Wyoming, out of mashed potato?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes. The name of which branch of mathematics is derived from the Greek for earth measure?
Geometry.
Yes. The National Archives were formed in 2003 by the merger of the Historical Manuscripts Commission and which other body?
Pass.
Well, I should tell you, the Public Record Office. Your other pass is Alex Stewart, was briefly England's Test cricket captain. It's the Windward Passage between Cuba and Hispaniola, and Chartreuse is the liquor that was known as Tarragona in the early 20th century. But none of that matters because you have, David Parker, 29 points. So that's it. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 11 points, Brendan Moriarty. In third place with 19 points, Nick Scopes. Second place with 20 points, Doriana Shirola. And in first place with a stonking 29 points, David Parker. Which means, of course, that he goes through to the second round. Congratulations to him. Do join us next week for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Going au naturel at Birmingham Women's Hospital as one of our expectant mums decides to give birth without gas or air. The Midwives is at 9 tonight here on BBC Two.